The Washington Huskies are headed to the national championship, so let's break down the Huskies' big win over Texas with Nole'Core. He's a writer for West Coast College Football, and he's the co-host of Southern Gentlemen Sports Show on the Ticket 850. Noel, thanks for hopping on with this, man. I know when I reached out to you, packing up, ready to get up out of New Orleans, and then you got to turn right back around and going out to Houston. So we appreciate the love and appreciate you hopping on. Happy New Year. Now let's get your thoughts on last night's big win. Give out your game balls, man.
I'm grinning ear to ear, and the game balls could be spread around all over that roster, but let's start with the main culprit here, Michael Penix Jr. out of Tampa, Florida. Huge game, set the record for 12 straight completions, over 400 yards. So I think he put the nation on notice that maybe that Heisman went to the wrong man, and it was fitting that it happened in New Orleans. Other than that, next game balls got to go to the Joe Moore, a winning offensive line for the Washington Huskies. They proved it. They're the best offensive line in the country. And, that Texas D-line is massive, and they were talking a lot of trash before the game. And unfortunately, they weren't able to back that up against this Washington offensive line. Last but not least is the Elijah Jackson corner who swatted that ball away as the clock expired. Biggest play of his career. He's been much maligned the whole season. A lot of teams have actually picked on him and gone after him. Came up huge in the clutch.
Yeah, as a former wide receiver, I'd never give any sort of credit or love to DBs, but that was huge the way he got up there and didn't put the game in the ref's hands to throw a flag and have some sort of controversial ending. Let's talk about the team as a whole, man, because we gave out the individual game balls, but like you said, this whole team showed up. This Huskies team is the first Pac-12 team to win 14 games in a season. That's putting a lot of pressure on them heading into Monday. Is it national title or bust for this squad?
I'm going to say that it is. You heard Rome Odunze before the season even started say that this was the goal all along. That's why so many of these seniors came back to win a national championship at Washington. And this was a legacy year for the Pac-12. This is the final year that a team had the opportunity to go undefeated, which they did. 13-0 all the way through the Pac-12 title. And then they set the conference record for that 14th win last night. So with everybody that came back, it's just been a magical season. And, yeah, you got to cap it off with a natty.
Yeah, big shout out to the seniors, man. And my days at UMass when we went to the FCS National Championship, all of our seniors that offseason said, we're going to lock in. We're going to show these young guys the way. So I can only imagine what that senior group is feeling. And I got a really cool stat that I pulled from you guys' X page earlier. He said this is the last time the Huskies won the national title was back in 1991. I didn't even have braces back then. That was a long time ago, man. Ironically, they beat Michigan in that title game. So give us your early thoughts on how the Huskies are going to match up against the Wolverines decades later.
Yeah, it's fitting that, you get back to this stage and it's against the Wolverines. That 1991 title game really wasn't that close, despite Michigan having Desmond Howard, who won the Heisman. I expect this matchup to go the way that the last 10 games have gone for Washington, all decided by 10 points or less. That's the first time in modern college football history that that's happened. The Wolverines, you can say what you want about their schedule not really picking up until they hit Penn State and Ohio State, and then obviously the big win for them in the Rose Bowl against Alabama. I only got to watch the first half of that game and the very ending overtime from the Sugar Bowl last night. But there was a lot of errors on both sides of the ball, both teams in that Rose Bowl game. I'm not saying Washington and Texas played perfect. They certainly didn't. But I expect that this game's going to be close. Washington's got the offense to score on anybody in the country, and I don't think that Michigan can make them as one-dimensional as maybe Texas was able to. And they still had 100 yards rushing last night, so I like their chances of moving the ball.
All right, tell the people they can find you, Noel.
At Nole'Core on all social media and SouthernGentlemenSports.com.
All right, we're going to be reaching back out to you Friday or Saturday, man, so we can really dive in and break down the national championship game. So get home safe and then get back to Houston safe. And we appreciate you hopping on with us.
Let's do it. Bow down to Washington.